Alright, SlimmBob here. Time for another review. Fact, it's not a review. It's just my thoughts on an announcement of a new game that's come out. And I'm not gonna lie about this. I haven't been this excited about a game since, a game trailer, not a game, because let's face it, Mass Effect 3, that was probably the most excited I've been in a game for a while. But a trailer, I've not seen a trailer this good in a long time. And ironically, the last trailer I saw this good was the 2005 trailer for Metal Gear Solid 4. And this new game, it were announced. We saw 10 minutes of footage and there's 4 extra minutes of gameplay, which I actually recorded this before because I'd not seen that gameplay, and they talked during it and they explained stuff about the gameplay. So I've decided to redo the video because I've seen gameplay, and I'm talking about Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. I had to think about it then. I'm still not used to it. Everyone thought it was Metal Gear Solid 5, put it in apparently. My fucking god, this game looks amazing. This is what I love. Metal Gear, you're guaranteed something completely different and something that just blows your mind every time. And he's one of the few developers. So many franchises have gone to shit, and actually the talent's gone, and but Metal Gear's one of the few franchises that is still just brilliant, like just fantastic all the time. And if you know me, I'm a huge fan of all Metal Gears pretty much. From first one up until Peace Walker, really. The only one I didn't really like was Portable Ops. But the only reason I think they should re-release Portable Ops on PS3 or something, because that is a good game. But the camera is useless. Absolutely useless. If it weren't for the camera, having to control it, they should have used a fixed camera in Portable Ops. If they had a fixed camera, that would be a much better game. I mean, much better. But yeah, I love my Metal Gear, and this new one, well, graphically for a start, it's using the Fox engine, like the new engine created by Kojima, and it says at the end of the trailer that it's supposed to run on PS3 and Xbox 360. There's no way this will run on PS3 and Xbox. It's just the effects with the lighting and the textures and everything. There's no way it'll run on a current gen system, but the engine he's deliberately made it so it'll run on anything. It's very ambitious what he's trying to do. Basically, he wants to make it so if you say you buy 3 copies of this game, say you're going on a train journey, so you've got a PS3 version at your house, you want to play it on train, so you can transfer it to your PS Vita, the data, right? Turns out you have an Xbox wherever you've gone, so it's your girlfriend's or whatever, your parents' house, whatever. You have an Xbox there, so he's saying, what about if you can transfer your data from the Vita to your Xbox and things like that? He's so ambitious, it never happened, but bless him, Kojima, for trying things like that. My point is, he's made Fox Engine deliberately versatile, so I wasn't surprised when it said it was for current gen. So we'll see. It will look different, as long as it runs fine, as long as I can play it and there's no slowdown, and I know it'll be great. And you can tell if you look at the polygon count on some of the models, like some of the stuff that's supposed to be circular, these jagged edges, these straight edges, the polygon count isn't massive in this game, so you can see things like that. Certain things have been tailored so it'll work for a current gen system. So I can see those effects, those fancy effects can just be removed and it'll work on a current gen. So I'm glad that they've given us that option. And this is a really... just think about it seriously, what's happening. Do you know in the past when we've had stuff announced for a next generation, right? How many times have they been released on the current generation? like both next gen and current gen. Never. It never happens. Usually what happens, they develop for current gen and then upscale the graphics or whatever. They port it upwards. But this generation, it looks like more developers are actually porting downwards. Like, look at Watch Dogs. That's never going to run on a current gen system, is it? That new Star Wars game, 1313, that will never run on current gen. But it probably will be released on PS3 and Xbox, so more developers. So people get a new generation of systems, they're going to have better games from the start, and that's something I'm excited for. So this is one of those games, I'm not really sure whether to get it on PS3 or to wait, but I imagine there'll be an option to transfer your data, or if Kojima gets his way, he'll make sure you get a copy for both systems. That's what he's trying to do. It's kind of like what Valve did with Portal 2. Like, if you got Portal 2 on PS3, you got it on Steam as well. But I'm rambling. You want to know what the game's like, just look at trailer. The story looks amazing and all. Basically what happens in trailer, there's this facility, you've got this kid in a cage, Chico, right, from Peace Walker, he's in a cage, and they hint that Amanda might be dead. Like, the bad guy says something like she didn't suffer or something like that, and it's like, what, Amanda's dead? Who else could it be? I don't know what else it could be. The whole idea in this trailer, what I understood from it, MSF is still going, and Big Boss and Master Miller, I think it's Master Miller, it's not Master Miller, you know, the guy before Master Miller, they're talking on intercom thing, and from what I understand, Paz and Chico have been captured by this new guy. He looks kind of like a cross between Indiana Jones and Freddy Krueger. Just, you know, he does. And it turns out there's this idea that Paz might be a double agent. It's a bit of a 180 for her character, and that in itself has intrigued me about this story, because Paz was the most honest. Well, her name literally means peace, so, you know, she wanted peace. Everything she did in Peace Walker was, you know, to bring people together and to maintain that peace. So the idea that she's a double agent, what would make her a double agent? What would drive her to become one? The only thing I can think of is that Big Boss might be becoming corrupted, because obviously that he does later in the series. When you know, in Metal Gear 1 he becomes corrupted. So it might be leading up to that. Maybe this is the game that deals with Big Boss becoming that, you know, misguided. Because at the end of the Peace Walk, you kind of got that idea, because it completely, at the end, it completely misinterprets the boss's message. But yeah, the story, I'm really excited about the story, because I thought they were going to go with Solid Snake, and that would have been worst thing, because Metal Gear Solid 4 completely concluded Snake's story. I mean, I think at end of game he has like 6 months to live or something. There's no way they could have fit another game around Solid Snake, and Rising's kind of wound me up with that. It was so complete, the story. I'm not talking about Rising though, but this one, Big Boss has so much choice. I mean, just look at in Peace Walker, how many missions do you have? Not just with Snake, but with you know, with the MSF, with all your squad mates. There's so much possibilities for stories with Big Boss, just for recruiting people, telling their stories. Grey Fox, mate, will we see Grey Fox in this one? Will we see Foxhounds get formed? We don't know. I'm really buzzing for the story on this one. And in terms of gameplay, what they've confirmed, it's open world. This is the first open world Metal Gear, and that in itself, that is very exciting, because let's just look at it for a second. What was great about, you know, the early Metal Gears, the bases, they had lots of possibilities for infiltrating them. What about the third one? What was great about that? You were in a jungle, you were in the wilderness. This is combining the base and the wilderness in a way we've not seen before, where we're going to... Because Metal Gear Solid 3 was pretty linear. You had to approach a base a certain way. You didn't have the full area. You couldn't survey the full area. But this is a game that's going to allow you to completely take control over how you approach a mission. And it's going to let you control vehicles. So is there going to be disguises? Will you be able to steal a vehicle, take a disguise, drive into a compound and infiltrate it that way. They've also added an option where they've said it's like a supply marker from Peace Walker, and you get basically an helicopter comes and picks you up. So that lets you choose missions. So it looks like they're adopting a similar system to Peace Walker with missions, which I'm not really sure about, to be honest, because that was the only thing with Peace Walker what really, well, apart from the boss battles, which were terrible, but the structure, you couldn't just play the game from start to finish without going through menus and picking your missions, if you know what I mean. It took away that immersion. I'm hoping this doesn't have that problem. So we'll see about that, but it'd be a change of pace. The only thing that I'll say what could work with this, because I remember when Kojima made Peace Walker, he said he wished he'd made it on PS3. He wished that it had been on an home console. So I'm thinking this might actually be a remake of Peace Walker. And not like an actual like in the same way Metal Gear Solid was a remake of Metal Gear 2. If you play Metal Gear 2, there is just so much that they reuse in Metal Gear Solid. Just with a lot of areas, a lot of the objectives, like a lot of the characters are the same kind of characters, like even little things like you have to, well, it depends how good you are, but you have to get a key card off a rat, like you have to change the temperature of a key, you know, things like that. There's a lot. You get a guy phoning you up called Deep Throat, you know, lots of things like that. And I have a feeling this is pretty much going to be Peace Walker on HD, not the same game, but in the same way they remade Metal Gear 2. And that in itself is exciting, because every time I play Peace Walker I think, imagine if this was made for PS3, just imagine it. And Peace Walker, the way you're always moving about everywhere, because you do a mission and you go back to previous areas to do other missions, and it could easily be an open world Peace Walker. You could easily do that thing that they've described where you have an helicopter take you to new places, like as shortcuts, and there's a lot of traversing through, like, you know, jungles and things, and I can see this being that remake of Peace Walker. And just even the way he's dressed and everything, the way everything looks reminds me of Peace Walker. I am fucking excited about this game. I love Metal Gear. Metal Gear always brings something new to the table and advances games in some way, and I've got a feeling this is going to do it again. The only thing I didn't like from the demo they showed, the movement seemed a bit sluggish. I don't know if that's just me. It was a live demo, it was actually playing it. The way the camera, I think they've tried to make the camera more cinematic. Like, there's a bit where he was walking. Like, normally when you're in a game like this, the camera's always at the centre, like looking at you, the player. There were a bit where it went to the left a bit, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that? Do you want me to look at something? That's a bit... And what if I want to look over there? You know, it's not giving me a choice. It's kind of like Uncharted does that as well sometimes, but it's usually just to highlight puzzles. I'm hoping this isn't obtrusive. I'm hoping that you can turn that off and just play it like an old game. Yeah, the movement as well. It takes a bit of time to accelerate. I know that might sound a bit arsey, but in other Metal Gears you just run and that's it. It's a game. In this it looks like, maybe it's because he's getting old. Maybe they're trying to show that, you know, Naked Snake's getting old, but it looked a bit sluggish to me. Though I did like the transition between crouching and crawling, because in the others you can't go from a crouch to a crawl. Like, while you're moving you have to stop and then do it, but it looks like in this you can actually do it while you're moving instead of doing a roll. I'm curious to see how they do that without buggering up controls, but all in all, it looks brilliant. I urge you to look at the trailer, and in itself, that song as well in trailer, I've had that in my head. It's beautiful. It's like, I think it's the original version of the credits song in Metal Gear Solid 4. I think it is, but it's really good. You get this, because Chico has this Walkman, and he's playing this song, and while that's playing, you see the bad guys moving through this base pretty much and going to this helicopter, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's just, there's something moving about it. There's no other game maker that can do this, and I fucking can't wait for this. You can tell I'm excited. I don't know when it's coming out, it doesn't say. It'll have to be next year, I reckon. If they're going to fit it on this generation, they're going to have to do it this year. No, not this year, next year. Or maybe they'll do it as a launch game for whatever Sony and Microsoft release next. So maybe they'll release it on, you know, this gen and next gen simultaneously when those consoles are released. I don't know, but we'll see. It's going to be awesome. And do you know what I want to see? Because if this turns out to be a remake of Peace Walker, well, a remake of Peace Walker, right? Then I want to see the same squad kind of things. Like, they've shown that you can have a supply marker for an helicopter. Why not one for reinforcements? Do you know that in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where you can tell people to do certain assassinations and things? How cool would it be if you can say, like, you knock on that wall, and then he distracts a guard while you go around other ways. Like, you knock on that wall, you take him, you choke that guy, and then you can sneak round. You know, things like that. I'd like to see an element that brings it, because Peace Walker created such a great sense of, what's the word? Comrade. You had lots of comrades. I don't know, the camaraderie, something like that, the word. I can't think of the actual word. Even though in this trailer it does say it's a solo mission. I don't give a shit. You got an helicopter, they could shoot stuff. How awesome would that be? You're in alert mode. It's like, oh shit, I am in deep trouble here. I need evac support. I need the chopper support. Shoot them. And then they distract the guards, shooting them with rockets and stuff. How cool would that be? Just to show how badass Big Boss is. And then you get like in a jeep, you're running them over, you escape the base, you hide in the trees, in a cardboard box, you snipe the ones that... I'm really excited about this. There's so many possibilities. Metal Gear's evolving again, and just brilliant stuff. Mr. Kojima, you're a legend. This is why I keep doing this franchise. How has this franchise been going on? It should have ended a long time ago. Like, if it were any other franchise, it should have ended a long time ago. But Metal Gear has this method of just keeping fresh every time, and just props to them completely. They're brilliant. I'm chuffed. I'm happy. It's going to be great. So yeah, what do you think of the trailer that we saw, and what do you want to see in this new Metal Gear? Do you want to see less cutscenes? That's what everyone seems to say. I like the cutscenes personally. I love it. I pay for the cutscenes. I'm one of them people. I get me popcorn, I get me drink, and I sit and watch me cutscenes, because that's what I pay for. Just because I just like how he takes so much time with all the characters and goes on. I love the dialogue. It's so silly. Like, it's right over the top. It's silly. It's brilliant. I hope there's no quick time events though, because that kind of ruined Peace Walker as well. Well, not ruined it. It was still a brilliant game, but like, I didn't like the quick time events, like cutscenes. So I hope they ditch them and just tell the story in the same great Metal Gear way. So yeah, this is SlimmBob. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.